What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Thursday Night Indie Spotlight, where we cover all kinds of stuff about independent professional wrestling. Now, if you didn't know, I'm your host, The Saint. It's kind of obvious by the writing right here. And I'm pretty sure most of you that watch have been watching me for a while anyway. So, if you're new to the show, here's how it goes. All rights reserved, copyright included. Everything's owned under an LLC, so no gimmick infringement here. Let's see, what are the other important things? Oh yeah, there's no curtain. We don't play that. There's no script. We just kind of go with the flow and do as we please. So, uh, with that being said, let's get right down to the meat and potatoes, guys. So, this past weekend, man, we had two badass wrestling events, and they were both in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, event that started Thursday, went Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, was the Gathering. It was a 4 day event where you had vendors, you had barbecue, it was a party, there was karaoke, there was wrestling matches, autograph signing, legend VIP room, all kinds of crazy stuff, man. It was awesome. If you didn't catch the videos from the Gathering, look at my post from last weekend. You'll see two different videos that were made there. One was kind of after all the big names came and went through the standard viewing halls. The second video was just before the professional wrestling started. But I've got here's this poster, to show you the people that were there. I saw Tori and Shane Douglas, and I mean, I saw a ton of people. Met a ton of folks. People. There was actually people there that I wanted to meet that are realistically local, but still had the honor to meet them who I hadn't had the chance to talk to before. It was awesome. Weird thing was there was also Mickey and Minnie Mouse there, so I've got some pictures to show you guys. Look, here's Mickey and Minnie Mouse with Thomas Latimer from the NWA. Here's Mickey and Minnie Mouse with Barry Horowitz, old school WWE veteran, man. WWF veteran in that right. And then, man, look at the neck crank he put in over here on Mickey Mouse, and Mickey's tapping. It's crazy. Then you got Tori Wilson with Mickey and Minnie. That was a neat experience. I can only imagine what she was thinking with that happening. And then somehow Mickey Mouse took a selfie on my phone. I am very confused about how all this transpired, but either way, as it's come to pass and come to be called, the Marty Party was badass. Let's see, we got a comment. Oh, what's up, Thomas Scott? We will be talking Pro Wrestling Savage in just a few minutes. So, man, I get there bright and early, hanging out. One of the legends needs a favor, go grab him a bite to eat. No problem. I don't care. I'm there I'm there to hang out. I really don't care. I didn't care what I was doing as long as I was there. So one of the legends wanted something specific for breakfast. I rolled out and came back. Got to see different people, talk to Rachel Ellerig, saw her father, talked to C.W. Anderson, had a great conversation with C.W. Him and I are going to schedule a time to bring him on air and let him talk about whatever the hell he wants to talk about. He's more than likely going to be on the Wrestling Wire, the Sunday show. That way he's got all the time in the world. I've got all the time in the world, and we can just do whatever he wants to. Very, very smart dude. I sat down and listened to him tell stories for about 45 minutes to an hour. Same with George South, but I've been hanging around George South for the last 6-8 months anyway. So it's still cool to listen to these guys tell stories, and they're talking to younger, workers in the business. So I'm just kind of sitting there like a bump on the log, listening and seeing how, the flow goes. It's some cool stuff. Got to see the Nitro girls, Francine, Sandman. What was weird was this. So we shot the camera angle with the ring in the background. Myself and Bill Hazelwood. We're sitting there shooting a breeze, talking about the event. And Bill Hazelwood, thank you. I love you, friend. You put me over big time. I greatly appreciate that. And what was real cool with that was I didn't have anything else to do. I was just going to sit back and enjoy the show. I thought I'd found me a nice corner spot. I was going to sit back and snap some pictures of the audience, crowd reactions and whatnot. just enjoy the show as a fan. Well, lo and behold, High Spots was there and High Spots was working. So they, you know, saw my gear bag and they were like, "Hey man, what you got camera parts?" Yeah, I got parts. What do you need? I need this and this and that. Here, go help yourself, brother. I'm good. I know where you're at. It's not like we can get out of here that fast. Shit. So the guy borrowed a couple pieces, parts, whatever. I go to the restroom and come back. My gear bag's been moved. I'm like, that's kind of bad because there's a laptop and the rest of my stuff in there. So what's going on? Including my humidor. So I'm like, that's not too cool. So what's going on here? It was just tucked under one of the tables. I grabbed it. All of a sudden, here comes High Spots again. Hey man, cameraman bailed. Would you help? Of course, I would love to help you. So, coolest thing is I had a headset similar to this. I didn't share that picture on all the socials. I only shared that on my personal page, but it's me with a headset on. And the reason is I had a director. The entire time I'm running a camera, I had a guy telling me exactly where he wanted me to be and what he wanted me to get. So that's the way to work, man. I freaking love that. I thought that was cool as hell. And the guy showed me all sorts of different tricks and stuff to do. 3.5 hours holding a hand cam is not as easy as it looks. So cheers to anybody that runs a camera because that shit's insane. Got to talk to Manny Mac from the XWW network. That's another big piece of news that needs to come out. The content recorded here, while it is owned by me, I have given permission to Manny Mac of XWW, and they have permission to reproduce all my content on all their platforms. So you can probably find me on their Roku TV app. You can probably find me on their podcast network, and more than likely you can find me at their shows too. That just seems to be how it's going with XWW, which is cool as hell. They know to call me if they need anything. The guys with High Spots were cool as could be too. So it was just a real cool experience working with them. Now, I mentioned legends earlier, and there was a ton of them. George South was there. Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson was there. You had just everybody you could think of. Lodi was there. Vampiro was there. I did get a chance to speak to Vampiro. That was cool. I saw some familiar faces. I saw a couple of people I knew from down at Palmetto. I saw one of the referees from Palmetto and our good friend Dave Foster, who used to be the GM down there at Palmetto Championship Wrestling. But man, we just had a great time hanging out and just doing stuff. Thomas Scott said I had a blast at the gathering, as did I. It was just a long day and then a long drive home after a long drive there. But it's all good. And Mr. Cole McAbee, the owner promoter of Pro Wrestling Unions, in the house. How you doing this evening, sir? Dig the picture, by the way. SmackDown in the background. That's what's up. But so there was just a lot of cool things that occurred with the gathering, and I got to meet and talk to so many people. It was just crazy. I can't help people understand how neat it is and how surreal it is to be able to walk through there and you see the guys and then you see the gear. Adam Bomb, holy Christ, that guy is a monster. He's just a massive individual. Just complete, such a nice guy, very professional. I was just, giving the keys to here, walk around, do what you want. What? Yeah, just go look at stuff. Go check stuff out, man. Go enjoy. When we're ready to do stuff, we'll do stuff. I was like, okay, I'm not going far. So, man, I just wandered around everywhere and I had to answer that and checked with everybody, met a couple of people. Some people actually knew who I was, which was weird. I saw people from Baltimore, Maryland. There was people from over in Europe here. It was nuts. Thomas Scott said, I got to see two of my trainers that I hadn't seen in years. That's awesome. Um, and I think that's what the gathering's all about, man. I think next year is going to be awesome too. They've already started planning it. They started planning it Sunday. So when it ended Sunday at 2, they were planning it at 2:15. So there's that. Also got to meet TMART himself from TMART Promotions. Really cool guy, very nice guy, very humble. And I said, hey, listen, I want to thank you. And Bill brought me in. We did a couple of promos for the show, and I hope everything was to your liking. And just let me know if you need anything. So I kind of feel like being respectful to other people is how you get further in business and in this business and in doing things. And thankfully for me, at least according to a lot of the people I work with, I'm respectful about things, and I handle myself the way the way that they would want me to conduct myself. So that's cool. But let's see here. We're going to go ahead and talk about Pro Wrestling Savage. Now, this event, once again, this event was this past Sunday. If you're in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg area, you probably saw it because 5 different news stations picked up on this and had video footage and other random stuff from the event. It was a school-based fundraiser at a school for, in their gym. And there was a good group of fans in there. The building was so laid out that, while it looked like you're, only got a few people here or there, it's actually a lot of people just across a huge area. So that was cool. Oh, Thomas said, you are a pleasure to work with. Well, I appreciate that, sir, as are you. Gavin Tyler said, I was on the news. Yes, you were. I think my purple shirt made the news, but beyond that, the rest of me didn't, and thank God, because I have a face for radio, and I'm sorry for everybody having to view this video. I had 150 at the gate. That's not bad for a Sunday on the middle of the day show. Man, it's not bad at all, especially charity shows. Charity shows seem to be hit or miss. It's like they're either absolute, through the roof numbers, or it's like throwing a paper airplane into the Grand Canyon. It's charity shows I've noticed that are kind of hit or miss. They're very weird. And there was 5 legends there. That's right. You had Bobby and Jackie Fulton, which are the Fantastics. There was Ricky Morton. You had George South, and we had Sam Houston. I could not get over how tall Sam Houston is. I was like, holy Christ, this dude is a giant. He's not really a giant. I'm very short, and he's, above average in height. So that's how that goes. Let's see. Gavin said, I love being able to produce and film. Dude, thank you for doing it, because my arms weren't going to tolerate that crap 2 days in a row. I ain't built like that. If I did it all the time, maybe, but I kind of prefer what I'm doing now. Ring announcing, maybe some commentary here or there, but it is what it is. Oh, Sam Houston helped train you. That's awesome. But either way, the event was fantastic. Why do I hear a phone? But that event was great. 2 days, 2 badass wrestling shows, both of them in Charlotte. If you missed it, I'm sorry about your luck. But next time you'll have to do better to do that, because it was a great time. I'm really looking forward to next year's gathering. I want to start checking into other stuff that I know is coming up next year. I know I've got a couple conversations to be had about other events going on. Oh, here you go. Let's see. Thomas and Sam were both trained by Nelson Royal. All right, man. The coolest thing about it, and I'll have video of it in the next week or 2, whatever, however long it takes for them to do the video stuff. I got to ring announce for Ricky Morton, and y'all, I'm telling you right here, right now, and I mean this. If I never, if I never ring announce again, I bring announce for a WWE Hall of Famer. I want to see where the bar is next. You know what I mean? Like, was I nervous? Yeah, but I got to have fun with it because the owner and promoter of the company trusted me. He trusted me to do this. So because he trusted me and I went over with it, and you can ask him 2 months ago, I came up with the idea of what I wanted to say. And he said, sounds good, work with that. And off to the races we were. He trusted me to do the job the right way, and he trusted me to do it and give that man justice. And if nothing else, I damn sure gave Ricky Morton his roses. At least that's what I was told by, I don't know, a half a dozen people. You can send your video over tonight. Okay, I just need I want the segment, no music. So after music and then at the bell, essentially. Just that part. I'm good. But yeah, that's all I want is that that's all I want is that little tidbit of information. Let's see here. I am easy to work for. Oh, yeah, man. You are easy to work for. You give guys kind of the freedom to write their own story. You may call how you want it to go, but you let them do what they're going to do to make sense and make sense of their own match, make sense of their own self, keep their characters and stories going. You're putting their destiny in their own hands, which, that's especially in indie wrestling. That's kind of like the standard for indie wrestling. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. I am awaiting my guests who are going to be popping on tonight. They have got their invite. So here momentarily, we will have them. But dude, there has been so much good come out of this last weekend, dude. I can't even begin to tell you how much fun it was, how much it meant. I text my brothers because, see, I'm the youngest. So I text my brothers who are both older than I am, right? And they grew up watching the old AWA and the old NWA and stuff like that. So they know these guys from then, And I'm telling them, I'm like, you do realize I helped load George South's car the other day, right? I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, I know George. George is a great guy. And then, it's also crazy. I get people asking me questions about, training and stuff. And I'm like, look, as far as this area goes, I only know, I know Lodi, and I know his training school. I know George. I know the guys down in Chester. You got Rob Killjoy and JD Drake training down there. Now I know Palmetto Wrestling Academy. Those are the places I realistically know. I don't know anybody else that does too much of it. I do know Bobby Fulton. Before I forget, yeah, there's Bobby Fulton also. I know those guys, so I know what they're about. But anybody else, I don't know what they're doing. So I don't know what their products are. Well, yeah, Bobby's in Salisbury. That's right. Bobby Fulton is in Salisbury. And as far as I'm concerned, if I were a young up-and-comer in this industry, I'd be riding around and checking them all out. I'd go just sit and chill and watch what they do and see how the vibes hit me. And then I'd know whether or not I wanted to be there and train and put my life and the beginnings of my career in their hands. That would be how I would make the determination. But that's just me talking out of my rear. So I can go ahead and tell you guys the next two shows for Thursday Night Indie Spotlight are already booked. Believe it or not, next weekend we're going to be talking with good buddy of another podcaster. We're going to be talking to Mr. Jonathan Darwin, and we're going to be talking about a charity show that they have coming up. So that's that show. Now, after that, that's the 25th. We're going to the 25th now. We're going to be talking to High Velocity Wrestling. And High Velocity Wrestling has a show coming up on the 27th. So we're kind of doing a little last dash type of thing. We're going to go over the card, sit back and catch up because, I mean, you know, when you work with people, and it's nice to just be able to sit down, shoot the breeze, and kind of throw things out there. So I look forward to that conversation as well. I always have a great conversation with people I work with anyway. And I've added a boatload of shows that I have to go over tonight at the end of the show as always. So, you know, stay tuned because you're going to see a boatload of flyers flying across the screen. Oh man, I got to meet Big Country this weekend. That was awesome. I actually hadn't got to meet him yet. I heard a lot about the man, but I've never had the chance to actually meet him or talk to him. So we're at the he was at the Pro Wrestling Savage show. I'm sitting next to him off to the side. I'm still, ring announcing, but I would just go sit over there away from the ring so I could see the crowd, see the crowd's reaction, and see the match. Man, what a nice guy. Just very polite. So it was real cool to meet him. Of course, getting to hang out with the legendary reppin' Gene Perry. You can't beat that. All the workers, man. It was a badass show. Well, I believe my guest is here, but are they ready? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Oh, they're ready. Here we go. Oh, Thomas Scott said, I love Jonathan Darwin. So, he froze up. There we go. Adding to the stream, coming in at this time, Matt Burns.
What's up? Dalton will be here in a minute, man. He can take care of something, man. What's going on?
Oh, another day in paradise. How are you?
I just got through working out, man. I've been ready to do this. I've been wanting to get on here for a minute. Kept ducking me, man.
I just kept getting busy. It was like every time one spot would open up, 3 people would fill it.
Hey, that's a good thing, though, right?
I guess it's one of those things where I guess it's better to be busy than not.
So you're doing good things with this, man. I'm glad you are. I'm glad to see more stuff like this out here.
Well, I've been trying to get it together for a while, and I was trying to do everything on one show. It doesn't work.
No.
I had to separate it because there's no way that I can do both things on one. It took too long. Some of my shows, I think the show I had Jimmy Ward and Hazelwood on were like 4.5 hours long. I'm like,
no, you get Jimmy started, man. You better hold on.
Well, Jimmy had, I think, an hour or so, 45 minutes. I think Bill took the rest of it, but Bill can talk too. So what's been going on, guys?
Yeah.
I haven't seen you guys in forever.
Oh man, Dalton just walked in, but honestly, man, this year's been kind of slow as far as wrestling wise. With COVID, and when it finally started opening back up, there really wasn't many options at the time. I worked a few shows in North Carolina. I'm looking to. Me and Dalton both are looking to break back in pretty soon. We just gotta, get some bookings and get. You want to move over there here?
Oh, you can move over here.
All right. Yeah. We're gonna move it to a better location, Ron.
All right, no problem.
What's up?
Hey man, how you been, Dalton?
Oh man, living the dream, living the life, man.
I hear that. I think you need to slide it back some, so that way both of you can be on camera at the same time.
Oh yeah, I had to go get my drink, man.
Oh, see, look that way. Look. I'm a director from over here. You gotta slide the camera back a little bit so you're both in frame. Oh,
I hear you. Got to get the guns in, man.
Oh yeah, there you go. Let's see here. Well, yeah, we did end up with a new Savage Heavyweight Champion in Drew Hood this weekend. Let's see here. Thomas Scott said Burns. Then he
See
said,
quite a few
"Where's
times in
Rage?"
with him.
Do what?
He knows better. Rays don't do interviews.
Yeah, this is true. And then there's hello Dalton. Thomas
What's
said,
up?
"Man, look, y'all gonna have to holler at him. I'm gonna tell you, you trying to get back in the swing of things. There's work to be done."
Yeah, we've been trying to get our name out as far as North Carolina. I'd really like to get involved with some South Carolina promotions. I've talked to Jimmy Ward about possibly coming down there, and I tell you the one I've been trying to work for, but is my man up in Union.
Cole.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
for a while, I couldn't go there because he was working with Thomas Simpson, and Thomas is a anti-Rage and Burns guy.
Well, I think I'm trying to think of how to word this correctly. Hey, let's go with that. There's a better camera angle. We'll switch to that one.
Like that.
Yeah. I think the person you formerly mentioned is an anti-person, but we'll call it that.
He's a dick.
He said it.
Well,
I ain't
yeah.
afraid.
I ain't either. He's. I don't think he's a fan.
Dude. I've seen you fired up. I've seen you get mad. It was
Yeah.
quite. You took me off guard the first time I see you blow your top. To be honest,
What was I pissed about? I don't even remember.
Something happened at one of Buck's shows, and it just made you mad. I don't even know exactly what it was. You were in the back, and you were just kind of yelling. Me and Ray looked at each other like, Ron's pissed.
Yeah, because you two are this big and I'm this big, and y'all are like, look at the little fucker. He's mad.
Ray's loved to rib you, man. He always enjoyed ribbing you because you go along with it, so he enjoyed it.
Right. Well, I owe a lot to Rage though, man, because Rage sat in Gorilla right behind the curtain, and everybody going in and out of the ring that night had to go around him, and he just looked like, "Are you going to say something to me, to anybody?" And nobody would say anything to him. He was waiting for me to come back so he could coach me.
Yeah.
Every match, and I was like, "That's awesome." It was a cool way for me to learn.
Well, that's one thing, Dalton. He, I love it. Dalton broke in a little bit later than us, but he's a 20-plus year karate veteran.
Right.
So, but when me and Ray's broke in, it was all about helping people. And if you don't train, my way to look at it, dude, is if you don't train the guys that are coming up, how are they going to get any better? If you hate their style of wrestling, but you don't take the time to teach them your style, how are they going to get any better?
Well, there's that, and then there's also delivery of constructive criticism. That's another thing. Not everybody's.
And
Go ahead.
The receiving of that criticism as well.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Dude,
you're not wrong.
One of my trainers, you knew him very well. God rest his soul, Norton Lewis. He wasn't the best at telling.
I didn't know him.
You didn't know David?
No, I never met David Cody.
I thought you did. I thought you.
No, brother. I came in right after that.
Oh, I came in at a different time. You were already there, so I thought you were there from the beginning.
No, I came in. I met all them at CPW in 19, and I started ring announcing in 20.
Hold up. So you doing it a lot longer.
Do what?
I thought the way you were doing it, you seemed like a more veteran caller, ring announcer.
When Kylan Disney called me and asked me to do it for Buck, I was like, all right. And I instantly went and sat and watched Howard the Fink. I watched Howard the Fink for hours a week.
That's a good one.
That's good.
He's the only guy I really tried to emulate. Now I'm a little bit more loud and not obscene about it, but it's more energy. And that's also, all right, remember, there's no curtain on my shows, guys. So, the card?
Yeah.
All I know is the entrance. I do not know who wins. My reactions are organic. So when
Yeah.
I announce it to the crowd, I've got that same heart that they've got.
I
You
like
know what I
that.
mean?
That's cool.
I tell you another guy, and he's from this area. I don't know if you know him, but Brett Wolverton.
I finally met Brett at the gathering. I haven't
Yeah.
got to see him announce yet.
The one thing I'll give you a good to put him over is that dude has got a book of index cards that when he goes to shows, he goes to every wrestler and like, okay, where are you from? What do you weigh? And he keeps those.
Oh.
So when he goes to shows, a lot of times he's already got your stats. He's one of the few guys that I know would do that. And he's kind of like you. He would sell everything. Like when, you called me batshit crazy a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And a lot of people that, and he would sell that when I'd come to the ring as the, out of my brain hardcore guy. Or
Right.
he would cower in the corner when Mike Judas would come to the ring because he was scared to death of Mike Judas.
Okay.
And he's really good. So.
Yeah, I want to see him. The other announcer down here that I know of is Elliot Popston. His real name is Elliot Poston. Poston?
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Poston. He ring announced down in Columbia for Palmetto. The
Okay.
dude's got a great voice for it. It's fantastic.
I enjoy Bill Hazelwood.
I do too. Bill announced Saturday night at the show for the gathering. I mean, they had Thomas Latimer versus Nick Aldis. You had Camille versus Rachel Ellerig. I mean, dude, there was some
I heard
serious.
she's a pretty good worker, Rachel. I haven't got to see her in person.
She was working hurt and still badass
Damn.
because she tore her ankle up in in Tennessee the week before at Ric Flair's last match.
Mm.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I heard the gathering was badass this year.
Oh, it was awesome. It was worth it. Let's see here. We're going to catch up on comments. Sprechen Sie the German?
No.
No, I don't know how to say no. Isn't it 9?
9.
Isn't 9? 9.
No,
Yeah, 9. There you go. Remember the time I had to work you guys in a 4-way scramble tag team at that? Thomas Scott was talking about you and I guess you and Rage.
Probably. We weren't that dude. How am I gonna remember one match of whooping your old butt?
Oh man, we known each other long time, Burns. Or how long we known each other, Burns?
20 years.
About 20 years.
That was
Good.
you and Rage, the High Society.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember we was talking about
High
that.
profile.
High
Yeah.
profile.
It was-
That's what it was.
Dude,
Yeah.
and I hate high profile had a foot taller, they'd be WWE tag team champions. I'll say that
Really?
proudly.
Wow.
They are amazing workers.
That's awesome. I've only seen them work a couple of times. I don't go down, I don't go down too far in South Carolina too often. So
Yeah.
unless they're up in this area or Jesus, you know how it is when you got a
Yeah.
calendar and you have a calendar to stick to. It's like I see who's at the shows I'm at.
Yeah. I mean, we're actively looking. It's just right now we're in tournament season of karate on top of everything else.
Right.
We've got a tournament in 2 weeks, and then the big
11th, 12th, and 13th in Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
actually
Now-
we can put a little plug in.
Go ahead.
September the 10th, our karate team is going to be performing at the Greenville Drive baseball game.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Cheap plug.
Well, hey, look, no, trust me when I tell you, you get to do that. That's allowed here. I've got a rack of shows to go through at the end of this, and before I do that, every guest gets to go through all their up and coming shit. It's like, send it. I don't care. That's what my
Well-
show's about.
Yeah.
It's
I'm glad to see. Are you a part of CPW coming back?
yes, I am.
Okay.
I'll be there. Everybody here I'm affiliated with.
Okay.
All the
Sweet.
companies below.
these
Pro Wrestling
shows?
Savage.
Where does
What?
that run? Just so I know. I don't know where that show is running.
Pro Wrestling Savage is Thomas Scott's new promotion.
Oh hell, he changes his name so many times.
Right. So that's coming up, and that one runs out of Charlotte. High Velocity Wrestling is old Viper, Gary Benfield. That runs out of Marion.
Yeah.
You got AWL's Jimmy Ward.
Yeah.
Pro Wrestling Union is Cole. CPW Buck. And then the one all the way on that side is his pro wrestling. That is William Rollins.
William Rollins, yeah. He reached out to me, but unfortunately at that time I didn't have a license. Throw somebody under a bus and work a show unlicensed.
Yeah.
I think the commission's a freaking joke anyway. I love what Jimmy's doing. Go Jimmy Ward.
I agree. I don't like the fact that it's like you gotta pay for a license.
Yeah.
And then you got no way of guaranteeing that you're gonna get your, return on investment is kind of a big deal for me. You know what I'm saying?
The WWE gets away with it by saying they are entertainment. That's how the WWE guys don't have to worry about it.
Well, also,
they get licensed. All their licenses are filed at the beginning of every year here.
So if you get licensed, doesn't mean you're a good talent either.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
I can remember when the licenses were $10 and people were still showing up working unlicensed.
Damn,
that's why they're $50 a time.
You that old?
I am that old.
Yeah. Let's see here.
$10.
Bill Hazelwood said Ron is a semi-rookie. Yes, that is right. Semi-rookie.
Bill Hazelwood is one of the best ring announcers I've ever seen. Hey, Bill, I love you.
He works the crowd a lot. I don't make as much love to the crowd, barely any at all. He does all that.
I have seen wrestlers pissed off at Bill because they felt like he stole the show from them.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Brino Royce, another up-and-coming talent in the region, said, boys. He was acknowledging your presence.
I like the look.
Yeah. He's actually, I think you would like his style in ring. He's not a hardcore guy. He's a classic technical heel.
I love that style. I mean, I enjoy the hardcore style. I mean, Dalton does the hardcore style, but he can also do the high flying stuff. Dude does a standing moonsault that would be beautiful anywhere. But me, I just enjoy it. It's just like, you said you didn't mind the no canvas, but the barbed wire ropes kind of turned you away.
Right.
And me and Rage, we look at that as a challenge. The Reaper's Playground, which you can find on YouTube. Reaper's Playground 3 was probably our best one. We went an hour. And we had live color commentary during the match. We saw it as a challenge to wrestle and entertain for over an hour without hitting the ropes every 5 seconds. And I still ran the ropes. I've got cuts on my back to this day from that match, from Ray's ribbing me and throwing me into the ropes.
Uh-huh.
I understand that some people don't like hardcore wrestling, and that's cool. I don't like high spot wrestling, but I'll still support it because it's wrestling.
Well, right. So hardcore, let's segregate the worlds here. Hardcore is one thing. All right, Mick Foley, Terry Funk. Yeah. All right, I'm all about it all day, every day. Fine. Deathmatch shit is different to me. And that's kind of where I draw the line.
I did a few death matches, but my death matches were also, how can I say, kind of dumb, brought it down a little bit. Like, we won't do
Pain. NC-17.
NC-17, great way. I won't use like twos because I was cut pretty badly back in 2001 by my back.
Okay.
I'm not too big on glass. And like the guy, have you seen the guy that took the weed eater to the stomach?
No.
Yeah, that's a bit much. Good that's the guy. Yeah, dude took a weed eater to the stomach. I'm not that crazy. Money tall.
Hey,
probably would. I ain't gonna lie, but I just feel like hardcore wrestling gets a bad rap because they don't really show guys like me who can work, but like to do hardcore. They rather show dumbasses who just hit each other back and forth with gimmicks.
Right. And
no
there's
storytelling.
also the ability to tell a story with a hardcore match. And Mick Foley could do that. I think my biggest thing is the stories told in the ring, or even outside the ring. I recently saw the Black Society go up against we'll call them the OGs. Talk about who was it? Chris James and Squeaks the Clown going up against the Black Society, and it was no DQ, no count out, and they went into some. They went in, and did some of the wild shit, and I'm like, man, that's cool. Until the promoter's like, get him to the ring, get him to the ring, get him to the ring. I'm done with this. Get it out of here. It's got to go. When stuff changes, people got to move.
Even in
But,
a hardcore, you have to have a leader out there controlling the pace, controlling what's going on, where ensure that it's still good.
Right.
You watch me and Rage beat each other half to death in a hardcore match. We tell a story, but we hit each other. I don't think nobody in this business ever hit me as hard as Rage. What's that? Maybe that spin wheel kick you hit me with.
No. Listen.
I want to get another drink.
So, we've done this twice now. Once was at a private show, and once was at Dizzy's. We did a hardcore tag team. What was that? It was
Talking about
the hardcore match, 6-man tag. And so I was on the opposing side of Rage, and they told me as the rookie, hey man, just go with the flow, stay light but stiff on the weapon shots to make sure everything looked good. Well, me and him, it just organically happened. We didn't call this spot. It wasn't planned. Wasn't anything. I turned and had a cookie sheet in my hand, and he had a cookie sheet in his hand. And we just looked at each other. Side of the head. He no-sold it, popped me back. I popped him, and we went back and forth with this cookie sheet. Like the first match, I only took 3 shots because on the second shot, the cookie sheet did this. So the third time it came down with the ridge hitting the top of the head. And I was like, oh, I'm going to bump on that one.
Right.
But we went back and forth at the private event. We did we were trying to sell it as, the big guy, little guy. I whacked him with the cookie sheet and turned back around, and there he is. Bam! Hits me, and I started hitting him, hitting me, and we were trying to draw the crowd into it, and this crowd was amazing. And then they started, doing the hey, boo, hey, and then finally he whacked me, and I flew back and went over the ropes, and everyone died.
Man, gonna catch up on some more comments here. Bill Hazelwood said, I use a crayon and a brown paper bag to write stats on.
And he still gets it over.
Diana McGeorge said, hey, Mickey. Well, hey, Minnie. Here, I'll give you a clue. Here's Mickey and Minnie with Thomas Lattimore.
Okay.
There's Barry Horowitz. He put Mickey in a headlock, and Mickey's tapping.
Holy snap.
There's Tori Wilson.
Wow.
And then somehow Mickey Mouse took a selfie with my cell phone.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That was at the gathering.
Oh, wow.
I told y'all it was awesome. It was a great time. So that's what that Hey Mickey was about. Let's see. You guys are about to come to the Pro Wrestling Savage. Somebody wants to book you in Charlotte.
Phone. Yeah. Message me or message Dalton.
Hello?
He said, dude, I changed the name of my company once.
A quarter?
He went from Titan
once a quarter.
He went from Titan to Pro Wrestling Savage.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's how I made that belt too.
Thomas said, I paid $20 for my first license. I like his style. He was talking about Brino Royce. Let's see here. Hey, Burns, Sons of Rebellion challenged me to a tag team hardcore match. You want to tag up once? Oh,
Hey.
hell.
Let's roll with it. Ain't Sons of Rebellion. Those are, I don't know them, but they were booked for like 3 shows that I was supposed to be a part of, and they never showed any 3. So I don't know nothing about it.
No show.
Yeah.
Damn. Thomas Scott says he loves hardcore. While I was in Florida, right, I was on vacation. You know how it goes where the spark of insanity hits you and you better write it down or you better tell somebody or you're not going to have it anymore?
Yeah.
So I immediately started texting all this shit out that I came up with, and I hit the send button, and it was to Thomas. So I'm like, here's a hardcore thing I came up with. Just hold this. I'll fucking forget it. So we talked about it over the weekend, and a couple of people were laughing at it, but they were like, it's funny and it makes sense. We got to use it. I'm like, I don't care. Who gives a shit? I don't care if it gets used.
Some of the best ideas happen out of nowhere.
Right.
Matter of fact, the Reaper's Playground, the one I was telling you about, the hardcore no canvas barbed wire rope match, that got invented because I wanted to do a match. You know Alan Price, right?
I've seen his picture, but I don't know the guy. I don't think.
I wanted to do a match with him that I had worked up north with a no rope match. It was just you took the ropes down and you worked. It was a very interesting match. So I wanted to do it with him. And he's like, well, we can't do that with the ring I have because it has to have the ropes. Well, then Rage was like, well, by God, pull the canvas off. And I said, well, let's wrap the damn ropes in barbed wire. Next thing we know, we was off to the races. But so you never know when random stuff will happen to you.
Now, I got a question about that because you say no canvas. Now, did you use plywood instead of plank for the wood?
It was planks.
All right. Then did you have to use something like a ratchet strap to hold the planks down?
What me and Rage did was the day before the event, we went up and we tore the ring down. And when we would put it back together, we would duct tape 3 planks together. And then we would duct tape 3 more until we got to the end. So they would at least stay together. You don't want to bump and they go sliding.
Right.
That was the whole goal. But besides that, no, it was just pure. I mean, the very first one, it was he's going to kill me for telling this story, but Rage gave me a body slam. And when I hit, the boards pinched my back. I had a perfect bruise from the spot of my neck to my butt crack from where the boards caught me. Well, he takes 2 steps back and leg drops me. When he leg dropped me, the boards opened up again and smacked his nuts.
Oh, no.
So he rolls over, and there's a picture, and nobody really understands the picture that my wife has, and it's me looking at him, and I am laughing. You can tell it. And Rage is laughing under the mask, but you can't tell it because when he hit, he said, my nuts. And as he rolls over, we're face to face, and we're laughing. And my wife snapped a picture. To this day, that is one of my favorite pictures that have been taken of me in this business because I just know that he's over, oh, my God, my nuts. So, yeah, but
Jesus.
It was the danger we enjoyed. So,
man. Thomas Scott says, I went through a ring once. Damn, that hurt.
Yeah, it does. If it's a plywood rings, that happens on more than the plank rings.
Really? Well, even with the metal gables running through them?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not as very similar, but back in the day, not all the rings had those.
Depends on the quality of those.
Yeah. Dude, I worked for the Italian Stallion when I first broke in. His ring was so messed up that when you hit the ropes, you were 6'1". When you were in the middle of the ring, you were 5'8", because his ring looked like a skateboard ramp.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it could happen. It's not as bad as like you see on TV because they set the ring up to fall apart.
Yeah.
But it can happen. It's not as rarity as you would think, but it does happen.
The AWL ring is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a beautiful ring. Jimmy Ward's ring is amazing.
Oh yeah, it is a nice ring. I mean, look, man, it don't matter. A ring's a ring. If you take care of it, it's gonna be good to you. You know.
Some rings are stiffer than others. In all, yeah, you're right. Like a 6-sided ring is always stiff as a board.
I've heard that. Now,
Very stiff.
to be fair, Fabulous Moolah's ring is still being used in this state. The 20 by 20.
I got to work in that ring when she was still alive.
Oh man, that ring's owned by Palmetto.
Buddy Burke is a guy maybe not a lot of guys know in this area, but when I first started, he would work with Moolah. And I jobbed out for him at APW one night for Eagle. And when we got to the back, he's like, dude, I love your style. I'm bringing you down to Columbia with me. And I got to go down and meet Moolah and work out and be a bump dummy for the day down there. So
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, some people don't like that word no more. Job out.
Look, does your envelope change? All right, then.
Listen, I'm gonna say it, Ron, right here. Anybody who's watching this is young. You do not have to go over to be over.
No, you don't. You don't have to go over to get over at all. You can lose every match and still be a fan favorite because if the crowd's behind you, they're going to stay behind you.
At HBW, the original HBW.
See, I'm doing this for fun. I'll do it. I'll do it just for the experience. I've done shows I haven't got paid for.
Like fifth degree black belt.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he don't. I mean, whipping somebody in a fake fight don't. I mean,
whoa, it's still real to me, damn
it.
Oh God, Jesus.
There is no but. I did that actual spot for Gary. We did a spot where I lost to everybody. You know, Joshua Cutshaw, young Joshua Cutshaw, who in my opinion will be a WWE superstar one day.
Certified.
X. Huh?
Oh, I agree about Cutshaw. Tracer X was the guy I was thinking of earlier this weekend, and I couldn't remember his damn name.
Yeah, he's a great, but we did this whole gimmick where I lost for like 6 months straight. And then finally I win a match, and when I won, it was for a title. And the roof came off of the place, man.
Wow.
I mean, me and Gary, we don't speak much anymore, but that was a good idea. And we went along with it.
Yep. Yeah, I was talking to Gary a few minutes before the show started, actually.
Yeah. He needs to call me and bring me up there.
Oh, well, I have another meeting with him on Sunday, so I'll be sure to drop that. Let's see here. Thomas Scott said, "Oh my God, I hated that fucking ring."
He's talking about Italian Stallion ring.
Yeah, he said Stallion's ring was crazy. Thomas says, "I pay everyone." This is true. I can attest to that.
Me
and
too.
then I remember jobbing to Chris Hamrick and R-Truth.
R-Truth, I love that guy. He helped train me.
Damn, R-Truth helped train you. And that's what's weird. Look at him and look at you. Like age-wise, aged look. Like he doesn't look that old.
Dude,
but you've been the hardcore style, so you've been through war.
No, I know I'm old, but bro, I'm gonna tell you something about that guy. That is one of the. When I came in, he was really starting to make his way up. He was down at a show, and I'm not going to mention the promoter because I don't want to catch no heat, and I don't really care about starting any. But he was at a show, and I was a young guy, and he took the time to work with me. And then this guy, the promoter, looked at him in the face. I saw him on eye. I said, "You'll never be nothing more than what you are right now. You might as well leave the business." 6 months later, he's the NWA heavyweight champion for TNA.
Damn. Didn't he get that? He didn't get that belt from Shamrock, did he?
I believe he did.
Oh yeah, he did.
Shamrock or AJ, one of the two.
I think AJ got his after.
Yeah. AJ Styles is running with a crowd on his own.
Yep. Man, it's crazy. People like I didn't realize how much was here in this area.
Yeah.
But when you go to these other shows and you start seeing these other people, and it's like, oh man, we were just with George South, or we were just with Lodi, or we were just with this one or that one. It's like,
I love Lodi.
damn. Yeah, Lodi's a great guy. I hung out with him a little bit on Saturday.
He's another one that'll take the time to teach you.
He's got his own training facility.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put this out there, bro. To any of these shows that affiliated with my boy Ron right here, you want a free seminar? I'll do it. I never charge for my seminars.
Seminars.
Training seminars.
Oh, okay.
I never charge.
That's another way to give back with the how long you've been doing this?
24 years.
All right, 24 years in the business. I guarantee you've learned at least what not to do in some situations. So there's always knowledge to give.
Well, that's actually how me and him. He trains me in karate. I train him in wrestling.
Nice. All right, we're gonna catch up on some comments here. Thomas Scott helped train R-Truth back in the day. He said, "Damn, I am old." Do what?
He showed him what not to do.
Yeah. He said, "Yeah," and it was Shamrock. Yep. And then he said, "I got to go because Bobby Fulton's calling me." Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm not surprised. Bobby Fulton's been at the last couple shows we've worked.
Tell Thomas pick that name up he dropped.
Yeah. Man.
So what do you think about the new scene, WWE, AEW? What's your take on it? I'm curious about it because you watch it like I do.
All right. AEW looks like an indie show with a lot of money. And WWE has got the production quality of Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I agree. I mean, I've seen a lot of people think AEW's competition, and I don't believe they are.
No, they're different markets. It's all right. I can put it to you like this. Just like in indie wrestling. All right, you got the bird's nest over here. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to name it. You did earlier. I won't. I don't know nothing about it. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Never been there. Never been there, so I can't help you. So you got that. Then you've got your shows down here. You've got your high-end professional wrestling. You've got your kick-ass parties. You've got high production value. You've got banger matches. You've got storytelling. You've got that. You go to other places, you've got TV involved. And that's all here in the indies. So it's, in my estimation, it's no different than running a show on a different night. You got this one running on Friday and this one running on Saturday. Well, whatever. I'm man enough to sit down and watch it all. Now, tonight's Impact is being taped, and I'll try to watch that tomorrow before SmackDown.
Yeah. I'm just now catching up on Impact because I lost interest in it. And AEW, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to sound bad because he's my friend. But you know how pissed off I was to see a guy who is as talented as James Drake job out to a 100-pound bitch-ass Hook? That made me sick to my stomach.
I didn't see that one. I saw the one with him versus Wardlow.
That one's almost believable because Wardlow's a massive individual.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a job to Hook, but I don't get Hook. He's 100 pounds soaking wet. Why aren't you're pushing him because he's Taz's kid?
And it wasn't billed as like a Rey Mysterio beating a Khali or a Big Show or Undertaker.
Yeah.
It was just a clean,
right,
beats a big guy.
So here's where I'll go with that. All right, Hook, you're right. He's a smaller cat, but he's also got a lot of the lady fans invested in him. So you got to. Well, there you go.
He does. He does.
So you got to figure that. The dude's got a good look. He can definitely work.
I don't even like his look. He looks like he just woke up and answered the door.
He's got good work. I mean, he's got some moves, man. Taz did right teaching him.
Would he be getting the same push if he was Taz's kid, though? If he was just a regular kid off the street, would he be getting the same push?
Okay. For that matter, look at Orange. Look at the size of Orange Cassidy. Look at the size of a Darby Allin. Look at the size of.
I don't get Darby. I don't.
And see, I figured Darby be right up your alley.
I like Darby's style.
I'm gonna head out.
All right.
You don't like Darby? Come on, man.
I don't get why he's the top when he's tagging with Sting. Give me something besides he's tagging with Sting. He's got the worst finisher in the business.
I don't like the coffin drop. I don't like the coffin drop.
I don't like but I like Darby's style because he take anything.
I love to see that little dude hit the ring and come up with that bullet. Fire!
Yeah, I'm not going to take away from his work. What I'm going to take away from is the fact that you have guys on your roster who can work, and they're having to bow down to these younger cats that ain't. It just pisses me off.
I get what you mean, but in the same token, that the AEW is a variety show in my book. The way you look at it,
you nailed it. I'd say AEW needs to change their name to AE or AFEW, All Future Endeavor Wrestling, because that's their whole roster. Is guys that got fired from Vince.
No, Kenny Omega, the Buck. I don't even like the Young Bucks, and I'm defending them. I am not a Young Bucks fan. The one thing I'll say is this. Here's one thing I will say. Okay. You remember that goofy bastard that used to come out with Carmella fucking no chin?
Yeah, the pedophile, James Ellsworth.
Yeah, that doofy bastard. Do you know why his chin's like that? He attended the super kick party and he wasn't invited. So he kept getting fucking cracked in his jaw. And that's why the bitch is set back.
I love that. Hey, do you think Kenny should sign with WWE?
No. I think Kenny needs to get his ass healthy and figure out what's best for Kenny.
You don't think him and AJ at WrestleMania wouldn't be beautiful?
I think it would be, but at the same time, we can all do the dream match thing forever. I mean, Christ, Austin Goldberg back in '99 would have been killer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sting Undertaker.
Yes, a real Sting Undertaker match. Yeah, anything from back then would have been great. In their prime, Bret Hart and Ric Flair, fucking take my money now, please. You want to keep going with dream matches? Shit, Punk and Bret Hart, Punk and Austin.
Punk don't deserve none of those matches. I'm not a Punk guy.
I really was earlier, and his current run is fine, except for he's hurt. So,
okay. Here's my take on CM Punk. There was a period of 4 or 5 years where I was not involved watching WWE on a regular basis.
Okay.
So that was the Punk era. I didn't know who CM Punk was really. I did see him. I was like, him? I'm like, that guy.
I like Punk as far as his mic skills, but his ring ability. When you get pissed off because you're working the Undertaker at Mania, I got a problem with you.
No, he didn't get pissed off because he was working the Undertaker at Mania. He was pissed off because him and Undertaker had the best match. They all knew they'd have the best match, and they weren't the main event of Mania. That was his big gripe about it.
Okay, I agree with that. I'll give you that, Ron. I'll give you that.
That was his gripe.
We all have, that's the way this business works.
Yeah, I mean.
And then if you're Brock, you want to go home first and go home.
But you're Brock Lesnar, you can do what the freak you want.
Yes, sir.
Well, see, Brock made it perfectly clear. He said you either want to be first or you want to be last. You don't want to be anywhere else. He said that's where he wants to be if he's going to work. First match in or last match out. And it ain't about the going home parts as much as it is set the tone or close the night.
Yeah.
Because you're either opening the bar or you're closing the bar, but one way or the other. you're
The way
the
Ric
staple
Flair's
of
gonna
the
be at
occasion.
TMART.
Yeah, that was pitiful. But I will say
What
this
was pitiful?
too: when I'm at a show and I'm working, I don't care where you put me. You put me first, second, fifth, main event. I don't care. But wherever you put me, and this is something David taught me, because like I was talking about David earlier, David had a problem with telling, like if you went to David and said, "Hey, how was my match?" He had no problem saying it fucking sucked. But then he would go, "Well, here's why it sucked." But David always taught me, don't worry about your place on the card. Worry about making the people remember you.
Right.
So you open the show, you're in the middle of the show, you're the last match of the semi-main. Don't worry about that. Worry about the fact that when those people leave, they go, you remember that Matt Burns guy? That dude was crazy. I'm going to come back and see him. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how many spots you have. Like I said to Ron, I don't like high spot wrestling, but I'll support it because it's pro wrestling.
Yeah.
But what you need to worry about, and Brock said this on a show with Pat McAfee. Is that how you say it?
Fantastic interview.
I love Pat McAfee. I think that guy missed his calling in being pro wrestling from the beginning. But Brock said it best. Don't worry about the spot. Worry about putting an ass every 6 inches.
Right.
Then worry about the spot. You want to go out there and hit 150 flip spots? Do it. But make sure the people want to come see it before you do it.
Now, I can't remember what promoter told me, but they were telling me that it's great that I sell everybody a seat for $10, but they're only going to use that last inch of it.
That is, yeah, exactly. You know, it's not always about going over or hitting your spot. It's what, makes people pay to see you.
Right.
At the end of the day, whether you like hardcore, high spot, chain wrestling, at the end of the day, it matters about people wanting to pay money to see you.
Yeah.
And that's what I preach to these young kids. I don't get down on this guy. Well, back in my day, bullshit. I don't get that. I'll teach you stuff I learned from my day. But what I really preach to these kids is, look, don't worry about if you're losing the match. Don't worry about if you're second on the card. You can steal the show from any point of the card if you want to.
Oh, yeah. Most of the more memorable matches I've seen, and I work a lot of shows, so not always do you get to see everything when you're freaking working, but most of the matches that take it home are, the ones in the middle of the card, before intermission.
Exactly. Even. And that's what I really want the young kids to understand from my perspective is, I've been doing this 24 years, and I may be a veteran and I may be whatever you want to call me, old man, and it doesn't bother me. But what I want these young kids to understand is, ask these veterans that are around you, what can I do to get better? What can I do to get me to that next level? Don't worry about the little shit like losing a match. Worry about getting people to come back to the show so your paycheck increases because you brought more people in.
Now, I agree with that. If you had to go back in the last 24 years,
okay,
and you can do this both as a singles competitor and as a tag team competitor,
okay,
who would you say your most notable opponents have been?
As far as people that are known, or the people that I can remember that I personally?
People that are known.
Oh boy. I can remember being at a training session, being at more than one training session with a young Austin Creed, Xavier Woods.
Oh, damn.
Sitting outside the ring in Greenville, South Carolina, because he couldn't get in the ring until he finished his homework. I
Damn.
worked Austin Creed in his very first match ever. He worked it under a hood. Brody Chase trained Xavier, and he sent me out there to work with him to see how he was doing. And I can remember, I very vividly remember that match. I remember working with our Truth. I've worked with a lot of the names that you see today. I've worked with AJ Styles, matter of fact, down in Georgia. And my problem was I always put I probably could have gone a little further in wrestling, but I honestly, I got a kid when I had my first kid when I was young, and I put my kid before my wrestling. But dude, I've been around a lot of the names, legends of old and new. Worked with the Barbarian more times than I care. I love working with Barbarian. I've worked George. Let's see. Me and Revolution worked the Powers of Pain one night, which was a great learning experience. There's a lot of guys out there that I've actually been lucky enough to work with. I've worked with the Hardys down at Omega. It was fun.
Gotcha. Hey, I need a moment. I got to step out of here real quick, so I'm going to take myself out of this. You two sit there and bullshit, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, we ain't got no comments or nothing. All right. What's the first thing you can say regulates wrestling and karate? What did you first see as the first kind of like made it like the same that you saw a similarity? Or the furthest apart? What about that?
Well, in karate, we it's okay to lay it in.
Light, man, light.
Uh-huh. That was probably my hardest transition. And you know that for sure.
Right in the jaw.
Is stopping that kick right there.
Versus over here.
There.
He did that
more than once.
So would you say that was your hardest learning
Mm-hmm.
as far as wrestling? Because you knew how to bump due to a break fall.
Yep.
You knew how to throw strikes.
Yep. I mean, like when we call it ogashi, which is a hip throw.
Yeah.
It's a hip toss.
Hip toss. Okay.
And the other hard transition was going from right hand behind the head to left hand behind the head.
Everything in wrestling goes to the left. Except in Mexico. You'd be great in Mexico. That's an automatic right hand. Okay. I'm trying to think of some good stuff. Because you hadn't had many
live matches.
Who would you compare yourself to?
Oh, God. Compare myself?
WWE
I try not to compare myself
like
to
if
anybody.
you could compare your style to somebody's style.
Listen. Now, I've heard through the grapevines of people talking of different people. And
I see you as a young Ray. Go ahead and talk to Ron. I'm going to get another. No.
Yeah. So we were just talking about, me coming in as a martial artist and who do I see myself as in WWE?
Matt Riddle.
Yeah. Matt Riddle.
That's
a good one. I didn't think about that. But I try not to put myself even near those names. You know what I'm saying?
Well, right.
I'm green. I'm a rookie.
But all right, so legitimately knowing what we know about Riddle and Lesnar, we know that those two could fuck you up without trying. So, and Ronda Rousey,
I'd let her fuck me up. I'd do that job in a minute.
Jesus Christ. Man.
Do you like Ronda in the WWE?
First run, yeah. Second run, there's no heart in it. She ain't got no heart in it.
I'm with you.
I can agree with that.
I've been a big believer in Liv Morgan, so I'm hoping that they do right by her with this run. But if they turn around and drop the belt to Shayna Baszler on like her second defense, Shayna's another one who's a legit fighter. So I'm fine with that. Nikita Lyons is a legit fighter. She's legit trained. Yeah. Well, no. Hey, look. Not that kind of show. I don't. Just because that girl is thicker than a Snickers doesn't mean you can. Oh man! But either way,
looking forward to the Triple H reign to see if he does take the business. So
I think everybody's looking forward to it because it's been 20 years of people begging for something different, right?
And nothing different. Not even an inch different. You can pick every single outcome.
Yeah.
And you can say like, oh, this story is going to be this. Mm-hmm. This story is going to be that.
Yeah.
Or we're going to rerun this match.
I'm going to take it back to the Indies. I got a good question for Ron.
Oh, Christ.
You got 6 independents down here at the bottom of your screen, right?
Right.
Do you see an era where these 6 independents actually work together to make a small territory?
No. I don't. So here's why. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I've had this conversation with Scott Larson from hashtag.
Yeah.
The straight up. Yeah. The straight up wrestling show's been involved in this conversation, and Christ knows however many other podcasts. We've all had this discussion in the past. My thing is this: while I think it would be simple enough for each independent entity to run on their own. Look, you got 6 shows, but you got 5 of them that run essentially monthly, right?
Yeah.
All right. There ain't 5 weeks in a month. There's 4 weeks in a month. So let's start there. Now you automatically got to have one show at a minimum. You actually need 2 shows running on Fridays, and then you need the other 3 to run on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So that now you got, 3 weeks taken up with 1 week left over for, there's 4 weeks in a month for the most part, right? Yeah. So now you can have one super show every quarter where they all come together. Possible. Yes. Monetarily. Now you got to, money's where it's going to get messed up because you can't have one person putting in more chips than the other person into the pot and then wanting to take an equal share if they didn't put as much in. So that's 1. 2 would be everybody trying to protect their own shit. So if you had, title versus title, the crowd would be like, oh, well, what sense would it make for the guys from this company to win both belts? Or what, either way. So there's things like that. Now I see interpromotional matches. I see interpromotional matches happen, Union and Velocity and AWL. And I've seen Patriotic show up at his, and you see that sort of stuff. That makes sense. But as far as like an actual unity of all of it, I can't see it.
If booked properly, I believe it could work, but you brought up a lot of great points that had to be addressed. If me
it had to be done by committing. It had to be booking by committee, and it'd have to be an uneven number because that way you can have a deciding vote.
Well,
so in other words, if there's
I would have somebody that's not a promoter of these 6 to be the deciding factor as well. But, I would look at like, say me and Dalton ran as a tag team down in HVW. We ran a program for 6 months, and Vibe was like, look, I'm going to send you guys down to Jimmy Ward for a couple of months. And Jimmy Ward sends a tag team out there where we all get to move around. That would be where I would try to do something. But I understand there's too many what ifs to really make it happen.
Well, yeah, what you're saying does make more sense, revolving talent. Now, a lot of places already do that, and there are companies that I'm not affiliated with, but I still support. I know the guys, or at least I know one of the people behind Turbo, and I know a couple of the people behind 3 Count and Uprise and all them other shows. Yeah, I know all these people, but they have to have enough trust in each other to where if right. So if you were to send talent like you guys, y'all just got through stomping a mud hole 5 out of the 6 months in high velocity. Now now you're gonna go somewhere else for 3. Are you gonna go down there and look like chumps, or are you gonna go down there and whoop that ass? You see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it would have
Which changes the stock of the company you left.
But I will say this: if you wanted to understand why guys like Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, think of some others.
Mhm.
Damn, I just completely went blind. Ricky Steamboat. You talking about these guys who were the greatest of all times? When they got to the big levels, that's why. Because they had been through the territories and they got to learn how to work as a heel. They got to learn how to work as a baby. They learned as a tag team, face, heel tag team. They learned everything. So by the time they had made it to, say, the WWF,
Right.
they had learned so much of the business that's what made them so good.
And each crowd, CPW, Pro Wrestling Union, AWF, all of them have a different audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
If me and you, me and Burns can go, we can work a match at each one of those and do the same, run the same match.
And it go over in one and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the other thing. When you go down to, just for example, like Palmetto, their shows have more of I think they're better than AEW shows because the storylines are more, obtainable. You can actually grasp the story of what you're seeing.
I can see that
at a show there. And the storyline makes more sense. But as far as like the matches go, it looks like your AEW match for the most part. They've got a little bit of everything. It's a pretty good variety show. But that's using them as an example without me naming somebody I work for. You know what I mean?
Palmetto, except for Shane Door. Me and Shane have had conversations in the past. He's a very great person, but I don't know much about the show.
Well, Shane's good people.
He is. He's a great person.
Ethan Case, I think, handles most of the wrestling on that.
Yeah.
So, because Ethan runs the academy down there.
Yeah.
Palmetto Wrestling Academy, which, I've seen the people that come out of that place.
Some are good. Some are good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like everything, not every dozen eggs that you buy doesn't have a couple of cracked ones in there.
Yeah. And that just goes, and that's not dig on Ethan. Me and Ethan on each other for years.
Oh no, nobody's digging on anybody. I'm saying that in general.
Yeah, I agree.
The basket of eggs being each school.
You might have one superstar out of 50 kids.
Well, yeah, that's everywhere though.
And that's not a dig on them at all. I just see that I've seen thousands, and I'm not even lying. Thousands of people come through a training school and not make it.
Right.
They could have been superstars. They could have been on the level of an AJ Styles, of, maybe not Roman level because, Roman's related to The Rock, but plenty of people that have come through that have just would have put in the work, man, they'd have been right there.
Right. There's a couple of younger cats out there that I think in this area we're looking at a good era of the future. You look at your guys like Matt Odom. You look at guys like Peterbilt, Chase Emery, Bebop.
I heard he had to step away.
He did. He is taking the remainder of the year off.
Because of COVID. He got a COVID shot in his heart, expanded.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yes. He got the COVID. Yeah.
It's unfortunate. What bothers me, though, Ron, is the fact that there's still people out there in this business who run down other shows. That pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't get it. jealousy's a hell of a thing, you know.
Ego is too.
Well, you know,
Yep.
you may not have seen it, but I've seen it 100 times or better of a promoter going, "Well, you work for me, so you can't work for this guy."
Well, I've been around for some of those conversations, and I put it to people like this: here's my calendar book. Pick your days.
If you're not paying my bills, you have no say so on who I wrestle for.
I just make sure that, wherever I go now, especially because I have worked for a show that was not in my best interest. So therefore, I no longer affiliate.
Hey, you got to go through the dirt shows to understand the business stuff.
Well, and that's another thing that I've said. Michael King and I have said that a couple of times. You got to work the shit show to understand what you got in other places.
How many dojos have you been to back in the day? Hey, I'm gonna put on. Are you a big Power Ranger guy?
Old school Power Rangers, yeah, original.
He has sparred with Jason David Frank.
I'm not surprised. Jason
The
David
original
Frank is
Green
like the
Ranger.
whore of martial arts. He's been everywhere.
He is a bad mofo. I'm gonna just say.
That's cool.
He's legit.
Oh, I got no problem believing that. At one point in time, they were talking about bringing him in to fight CM Punk in the UFC.
Punk would have got killed.
Yeah.
This guy's a guy who's fought him, so he can tell you personally.
Eighth degree black belt in karate, purple belt in jiu-jitsu, grandmaster in Muay Thai kickboxing.
He'd have beat him now.
Yes. And there was the pro fights that Jason David Frank did in MMA were at the weight class CM Punk fought at.
Yeah.
And they, the whole thing got started when JDF made a comment was, I'll fight him, right? I'll be his first fight. And if we're giving professional wrestlers that have never done any martial arts training, give me a shot. And then it went with CM Punk was like, who is that?
Yeah, he was scared to death.
Who? I don't know who that is. And then it just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Jason David Frank actually did a couple like wrestling shows.
Yeah, he did the Indies in Texas.
Huh.
And was going to kind of try to step foot in that world as well, but then got pulled back into Power Ranger stuff heavy.
That's not out of the works. Just wink, wink.
Okay. I mean, the dude, I remember watching him as a kid, and hell, I had the karate training DVD or VHS tape because that's how long ago it's been.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think it's still in the basement somewhere or crawl space.
Dude, you need to see that.
I think I got one.
Right?
Shit, I may have it. I know the only thing I have downstairs hidden that I've kept hidden and locked away. It's in the bag.
Hunt, man.
I have a version 2 of the original NWO T-shirt. So the first NWO T-shirt did not say New World Order on it. Yeah. It only said NWO. Yeah. The version 2 was the first one that said New World Order. I have that one.
He's got the version 2 NWO shirt. That's amazing.
It's hidden in a bag.
NWO changed wrestling.
Damn straight they did.
Yeah. I honestly tell people this day I felt like NWO changed the business more than DX.
Well, yeah, they did. DX was WWE's answer to the NWO. That's what that was. But it's funny seeing Hulk Hogan selling his boat with the NWO on it now for $99,000.
Yeah,
he's got it listed. The NWO speedboat is for sale.
Oh no,
$99,000.
You know, I know we're getting short on time, and that's cool.
Shit.
But there's a question I do got to ask you, and it's a great wrestling question. Who's your 4? If you're creating a Mount Rushmore, Who's your 4?
All right. So the obligatory answer for everybody that I have ever talked to about any of this is Taker.
Okay.
So Taker's like always on there. I gotta go Austin, Michaels. I really was a big Bret Hart guy. And professional wrestling only. Professional wrestling only.
Okay.
Shit. I keep wanting to say Benoit, but that's not.
Hey,
I mean, as an in-ring technician, man, Benoit was.
Killer family. Kevin Sullivan did. So if you want to say him, you go ahead.
I met Kevin Sullivan this weekend. I went and got him breakfast.
Me and Rage hung out with Sullivan. So,
What?
Me and Rage hung out with Sullivan.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I'll tell you that in a second. I was just curious what your 4 was because I always ask everybody that because one name that never gets on there that I always put on there is Michael Hayes.
All right, look at my age, though. I'm only, 36. So Michael P.S. Hayes is just before my time.
Yeah, but
I only remember Michael Hayes as coming out with the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, Michael Hayes, for me, he was the first guy to bring rock music to the business. He was the first guy to really catch heat with the interview. So I always put Michael in my top 4. So who's your top 4?
Okay. It's like different Mount Rushmores,
Okay,
So,
I'm serious. Who's your 4?
No,
so
you got to just pick 4.
when I pick 4, I'm going to go with Sting. I'm going to go with Chris Jericho.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the one who shall not be named.
Benoit.
And honestly, it's a toss-up.
Okay.
On mine, between
Of course, the internet cuts out when he's at the last spot of naming his 4.
Yeah.
Right.
Who was it?
Brett and 1, 2, 3 Kid.
Sean Waltman?
Not X-Pac.
Okay.
Because he had that was a different style.
Okay.
When he went to X-Pac, it was a different style than the 1, 2, 3 Kid.
Okay.
Early 1, 2, 3 Kid, when we're talking about running matches with Diesel and Shawn and Razor.
I'll let you talk, Robert. I'm gonna give you my 4 before I go. My 4, easily, Michael Hayes, John Cena,
Okay.
Hulk Hogan, and Arn Anderson. That's my 4. I gotta go take a leak.
Right on. I mean, well, see, if you're talking about the overall, that's my 4. If you're talking about microphone only, Jericho is there. The Rock is there. Paul Heyman is 100% there.
Yes. God, yes.
Yeah. I damn near got to go Jericho for mic work. Jericho was great promo.
Yes. Killer promo. So when I got into business, I looked at, where am I going to pull my stuff from? Who am I going to take, not gimmick infringement, but, where am I going to, what rubs off on me? And what makes sense as my character as martial art, skill base. You got Steve Blackman and
Shamrock.
And another one that was
Dusty by God Rhodes
that I thought would kind of go the way that I was leaning towards when my character was I don't like him, but the Warrior.
Who was the first guy to breed the NWA champion and the WWNA UFC champion? See if either one of you know this answer.
Dan Severn?
Fuck, you got it.
Yeah, I was about to say that's Dan. Dan the B Severn, because Shamrock was in the first. Yeah, he never won the heavyweight title in WWE, but he did in NWA. Yeah, TNA and WA, and then
I've
in the
heard
UFC, did he win the heavyweight golden? Or
he
he
won
did?
the super fight gold before they had different titles for different weight divisions.
Before the weight.
Right, because he lost to Gracie in the first one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
heard
did.
Shamrock's getting Hall of Fame nod this year.
He should.
Yeah.
He should get it. 100%. Have you read the
Has-
dude's book and seen what the fuck he's been through in his life? Holy
Yes.
fuck. The guy deserves it off of that. You know, another person I like is Mark Marrow. A lot of people don't give that guy any credit, but Mark Marrow,
Yeah.
what he's doing now for the kids and the charity shit, man,
That's beautiful. To be
so good.
honest, that's the first guy I ever seen do a shooting star press. Now, obviously, it's probably done in Japan before this because they're always ahead of us. But as a young kid, I remember Mark hitting the first shooting star press I'd ever seen.
right. I remember that, and then you never saw it. And then all of a sudden, here come Billy Kidman doing it.
Beautiful.
Yes, the 7-year itch.
Yes.
Billy just had Billy had Brad Armstrong disease. And I've known this because I've met Brad. I've talked to Brad. Brad Armstrong is the funniest person you ever met in your life until he hits the curtain. And he has no charisma at that point.
Oh, damn. Now, one thing, you know, we're just sitting here bullshitting about wrestling. I think that the difference in some of the names that y'all name and the names that I name is where we were brought up.
Yes.
I'm not from the South.
Dude, I am most definitely a historian of the business, though. I have studied this business inside and out. There's not much you can't tell me about the old school that I don't know.
Well, right.
Wanted to learn it.
But see, I remember being at a bar room at 10 a.m. in Southern Maryland on Saturday watching Saturday Morning Superstars.
Yeah, I mean, up there, yeah, you're from Maryland, correct?
Yeah, I was born in Virginia, but yeah, I was raised in Maryland.
That's right. I remember you telling me that.
Yep, right there near D.C.
How long have you been in South Carolina?
I got here in 14,
Okay.
and I didn't get into indie wrestling until 19.
Bro, I'm going to put you over for a second. If you'd have gotten a business early, you'd be the fucking man by now. And that's no bullshit. You know what you're doing.
I don't know.
No, I 100% agree. I 100% believe that you could be one of the biggest ring announcers in this area if you'd jumped in sooner.
Well, I appreciate the vote of confidence. More or less, I like to tell people I fell ass backwards into this building or into this business because literally I did. If I hadn't have,
prior to the business, because I have never asked you that.
I still work. But so I used to climb ladders and telephone poles. I fell off a 28-foot extension ladder and landed on the back of my head and neck from about 13 or 16-foot head high. So essentially, I took a.
You took a hardcore bump to get in the business.
Yeah, I took a something like a jackknife power bomb bump.
Basically,
The bump from that from that height.
Like the Kevin Nash big giant power bomb.
God.
I took that bump essentially, and it took me out of work for 9 months. So I was sitting at home bored as shit with nothing to do or occupy my time. I started writing for the real wrestling community and making memes and bullshit posts. Then I got into the podcast. Then I got introduced to Kylan and promoted helped. I did a commercial for and did some other bullshit for the charity show he did in 19 at the end of 19.
Yeah.
After that, I was asked to ring announce in 20, and here we are now.
Yeah.
So I literally fell ass backwards into this business.
Dude, no, you do your job good.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
it's been
Ray's loves it. Ray loves you. He told me to tell you that because I talked to him today. He said, "Tell Ron." I said, "Hey, tell him I love him, but I just don't do interviews." And
well, I get it, but this isn't like a regular interview. You know, this is like if I had a drink in my hand and you would have swore we were sitting at a bar.
He's so hardcore kayfabe about not speaking under that mask, he won't do it.
Yeah, well, he could just take the mask off.
And Dalton's wife, old lady, just walked in the room and just flashed us.
Okay. Like, Jesus. No cell. No, sell it. No, sell it. Don't sell it.
My sister, so it's kind of weird looking at her boobs, but I'll do it because I'm from the South. But
No, you're not in West Virginia. That doesn't count. Jesus.
oh man.
But no, you said we're running short on time. Do you have someplace to be? Because if so, you better be calling an Uber as much as you've been drinking.
So, dude, I'm from the South. This is like a water.
Oh, well.
Would you? Yeah, me and Dalton's old lady. Her name is Ashley.
Yeah.
Her gimmick name yet. We got great her gimmick name. Me and Ash. Oh my God. Me and her, we hold it down. That girl was the original White Claw Outlaw.
Man, have you seen them two work?
Kay Holiday's a part of that, correct?
I think so.
I'm gonna tell you
But
right now. Anybody who has the opportunity to book Kay Holiday, you do it. That kid
I agree.
is phenomenal.
Oh, he's fantastic.
He is respectful. He can work. There's nothing about that kid I do not like.
Oh, he's a great.
More than Dalton's about to go get him. So, but apparently, but I'm gonna put Kay over. Excuse me. Kay is beautiful in the ring.
Oh yeah.
I wish Kay got more opportunities than he did, to be honest. I feel like Kay deserves a good run somewhere.
Oh, I could see it. He's, for his size, he moves fantastic. Yeah. He's got a great look about him. The crowd loves him. Most of the places we go.
Who's one of your favorite indies right now to watch?
Shit. Favorite indies to watch? Besides you.
I'm sorry I had to throw that in there. But seriously, I'm curious because I like to watch the young and upcomers.
All right. Out of guys you probably don't know, I'm going to say guys you don't know that you need to watch. You definitely need to keep your eyes out on Luka Daniels. You need to keep your eyes out on Brino Royce. And I'm not just saying that because they're buddies of mine. I'm telling you because I find interest in their work. Okay. And this is people you don't know. So I mean, that's taking away guys like the Black Society who we love and
I love the Black Society. I just sometimes they need to understand it. They need to sit down and shut up and listen. Because Lazarus Black has got so much potential behind it. But Lazarus is a wrestler's kid, and sometimes he thinks he knows a little bit more than he should. And I say that out of love because I love Lazarus. I love Ryan. I helped train Ryan.
Right.
And I will help anybody. But, I watch some of these, any shows that pop up online, I do watch.
Well, see, the online thing kind of throws me for a loop. I understand if you're trying to rebuild a brand or if you're, putting your content out post show. But I've made this statement before and I'll say it again. If I can sit at home, drink my booze, smoke my shit, and watch you on my big screen and scratch my nuts on the couch, why the fuck am I driving and paying $10 to enter the building? It ain't happening.
I can understand that. I really believe that. Sometimes I kind of wish there was a way for the independents to open that era because some people just don't want to leave their house.
There is.
They're not set up to be production shows.
No, they're not.
Well, no, there is. You can do it. So there's YouTube pay-per-view as well as you can actually do Facebook Live pay-per-view. Believe it or not, we could run a whole fucking wrestling show off of this program we're sitting on because I could add, I think I can have like 9 or 10 guests. So essentially I could have 9 or 10 cameras and just pick which, like you need a producer to sit there and watch the shit and they got to flick the button to tell you which one. And you better have one hell of an internet connection.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's one thing I will say to all the young talent out there. When I first started, there wasn't a lot of eyes on wrestlers in this area. I can remember spending $50 and $60 sending VHS tapes. Fuck all you make fun of me to different independents or to different areas. But now you could post a match on YouTube and be seen by tens of thousands of people within 30 minutes of it being posted.
And see, there's also streaming networks for the independent scene down here too. You've
Yeah.
got XWW's a streaming network, and that's based out of North Carolina. We recently, myself and the owner of XWW just recently came to an agreement. All this that we're doing right now,
Yeah.
the audio will be ripped and put on a podcast on their network, and the video will be produced on their shit too.
XWW. Call
Yep.
us.
I gave them. I let the if somebody wants, like, they like the fact that I do indie stuff
Yeah.
because every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there does WWE stuff. Well, I like doing both, so I made it one show dedicated to one show dedicated to the other, and I do spot shows randomly too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's why I told Dalton, I was like, you got to come on this show because you put over the independents.
Right.
And I love that. You know, I've never worked for his pro wrestling, which because I don't have a license. I've never worked for Thomas because he don't call no damn body. But I love the fact that you do that, man. I'm going to like tip my hat to you. You know, I ain't shaved my mohawk, but you know, I'm going to tip my hat to you on that.
Well, the thing of it is, if I bring more eyes to these products, that's more cash coming in the door. That means the show can run longer, the show can run better, the show can run smoother.
Very true.
If if a handful of people watch my show and they attend the show that I'm working, the promoter didn't lose money by having me there.
Would you consider being a manager if you decide? Would you rather be a manager or ring announcer?
Ring announcer or commentator, I could see. Manager would be a little awkward for me because I generally piss people off. So,
dude, you run up right up our alley.
Man, it would also depend. It would also depend on what it entails. I mean, like, dirty heel choking a fucker on the bottom rope and shit. You know, that's one thing. But, like, just somebody who walks out there stiff as a board and stands there and cheer for them. Cheer for them. What the fuck is that? No.
Jobs in America, as far as a wrestler goes, is a baby face manager. That is one of the hardest jobs to be.
Yeah, no, you can keep it.
It's got all the money he needs. A baby face manager does not.
There's nobody asking for it. But anyway, look, do me a solid. Start telling everybody where we can see you, what's going on next.
Okay, so as far as wrestling wise, I'm going to go ahead and open it up to the floor. Any of these people who are associated with you want to contact me and Dalton, we're more than welcome because I honestly, I like you a lot. I've always thought a lot of you. So if Ron has put in the word for you and you want us to come to your show, we're more than willing to talk to you. We will be working on a South Carolina license here shortly. It's just the fact of financially, and you know, Dalton's got 3 kids in karate. I've got 1 and myself. It's not a cheap venture. I'm not going to lie. But we will be at the Greenwood Drive on September the 10th performing. But anybody who wants to contact us, please do. You can reach out to me at my shoot name, Travis Thompson, or Dalton Riggs, or Josh Bailey, shoot name, Matt Burns.
Fucking screaming eagle, Josh Bailey.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can reach out to any of those. You know, you can reach out to Gary, tell Gary to give us a call. But we are looking for open bookings. Right now, we're really focusing on North Carolina because of the licensing thing. Come October, when we can move on into
next
year, we'll be looking for South Carolina as well. Because I know you talked to us about CPW, which, you know, I love Buck Carter to death. Our biggest thing right now is
that was my first tag team partner.
Buck Carter was his first tag team partner.
Right. Well, that's, you know, he's my claim to fame. You know, when he makes it big, I was the first ever motherfucker to introduce his ass.
Yes, you were.
Hey. And, you know, we're really looking to expand. We're looking for Anybody who wants to talk to us, please call me or call Dalton. We will contact you if it's not through Facebook. Ashley, put your boobs up.
She just cracked another White Claw.
I know,
White
right?
Claw
White Claw
Outlaw.
Outlaw,
Well,
the original
Hey
White
man,
Claw.
well those sunglasses you got on are reflective, bud.
But, seriously, I will never not love this business. I have focused in on karate out of respect for this man right here who gave me a lot of opportunities I couldn't have got outside of karate, and the fact that he beats the shit out of my son, and I love that.
There you go.
But yeah, we are really looking to expand. Anything from you?
I'm down to work any of these promotions, for sure.
Yeah, we're most definitely wanting to expand. And Thomas called me. We'll set something up. I really want to, and for real, no BS aside, any of these promotions you want me to come in and do a seminar prior to your shows. If you want to pay me, fine. If you don't, fine. I love teaching. I love helping the next generation move into the next, into helping them become better professional wrestlers.
Right. Now, you guys keep mentioning all these upcoming shows. I'm going to go ahead and lay the upcoming shows out for you. So
Please.
if you're not busy, you know where to go.
Please. We would love to support independent wrestling.
Coming up August 27th, HVW presents Inferno. That's in Marion, North Carolina. And the official poster for that event is right here.
TJ Boss, you fat little loser. No, I love TJ Boss. I love TJ Boss. Please don't hurt me, TJ. I love you.
TJ and Bojack is going to be a slugfest.
It'd be better if I was beating up TJ, but yeah, I understand.
Yep. You got the New Age Villains versus the Heart Killers. You've got Riley Rocket and Jasmine Howell.
Do you know how many promotions have tried to get me and the New Age Villains to work with me and Rage, or me and you?
How many?
God, I cannot name them. I love Nathan. I haven't met the other guy, but Nathan, oh my God, the kid is so respectful.
I agree with that. I got the chance to talk to him after the AWL show we were at.
He's the real deal.
Here's a match that'll pique your interest: Kay Holiday versus Brino Royce.
Kay, I want to work with Kay so bad again. I love working Kay.
Rob Killjoy versus Jordan Holt. I'm telling you, that's going to be a badass match.
Rob Killjoy's never been a fan of mine and Ray's, but it is what it is. I've heard a lot of good things about Jordan Kill, so I think that'll be a really great match.
Jordan Holt is, in my opinion, another one of those next level guys.
Yeah, I agree.
Then you got John Matthews versus Zay Vega. Two other great
John, man. I love John to death, man. He's such a good guy. I think he'll do good at the show. I really do.
Oh, yeah, I do too. HVW is coming back again right around the corner from that.
You ready?
That is
Rampage?
All right. So Rampage is going to be there. Meet and greet opportunity with him. This is Battleground. This is at Silverado's in Western North Carolina.
Dalton Riggs says he'll fuck up Rampage, Jack.
I didn't say shit.
Oh, shit. But you got the Black Society versus the New Age Villains, and you've got Jasmine Howell versus Jada Stone.
I've heard Jasmine Howell. I've actually heard of. I've heard she has a great career in front of her.
Jada Stone is working Impact.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
I've heard of her too. I pay. Like I said, I don't really say a whole lot, but I pay attention. But I think that actually might steal the card. Those two females.
That's going to be the main event for the evening. I can't wait to be there for that one either.
Steal the whole damn show.
And then, unfortunately, on this day, you guys are booked. But this is coming up on September 10th. This is the Parade of Champions in Union. Okay. Oh, hold on. If that's too hard to see, I got you.
Is that Cole Maccabee?
Oh, yeah, this is Cole's show. You got Chase coming up, address about his medical leave. You've got Cam versus Buggy Wright.
Love Cam.
Yes. You've got Brino Royce and Luka Daniels versus the Heat Seekers.
I've heard of the Heat Seekers. I've heard they got a lot of good going on for them.
5-time NWA Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about him. Now
Bebop.
That guy's awesome.
I love
Yeah.
that guy.
Bebop's great. You've got the Heart Killers versus All Worm No Soul.
I know Joey. I met Joey.
Yep. That's a kick-ass tag team. Now, this one just got announced last week on this show with my guest Cole Maccabee. It's actually Dion versus Zuka King.
Dion Johnson. I want one more match with Dion because Dion is one of the best in the South, and I want one more match with him just because of me personally. But I promise you, fellas, Dion versus Zuka will steal the show if you ain't careful.
And then the main event for that evening, the interim heavyweight title, Peterbilt versus Drew Hood.
I met Drew when he was tagging with Cam.
Yeah.
The kid is so respectful, man. I give him credit. I don't know Peterbilt personally, but he's got a good look.
Peterbilt's one of Lodi's guys, actually.
Well, then right there, that right there alone says it's going to steal a stand. I mean, that's going to be a great card. Bravo to Pro Wrestling Union. That's a great card.
Yeah, well, see, that card's also taking place the same day you guys, the 10th, when y'all got that event to go to, that karate show.
3 world titles.
Now, on the 24th, you might want to find your way to the Welfare Pavilion.
Okay.
Because CPW TakeOver is coming. Got Buggy Wright and Johnny Ryder.
I've worked with Johnny. He's great. The Foundation, they suck.
You got the Foundation versus Jordan and Corey.
Travis, I love you.
The White Claw Outlaws versus the New Age Villains.
They stole your name. White Claw Outlaws.
That is going to be badass.
You know what? Sweet Dreams and Dion Johnson, those other 6 men are in, 6 or 5 men and that female there in this match. You better bring your notebooks because you're going to learn a whole lot.
I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm going to take the screen down for this one. I've said this on just about every show whenever anybody brings this up. But do you know James Johnson? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you know Selena Rose?
Yeah.
His daughter?
The name.
Okay. I watched a full card of about 7-8 matches one night. She was in the ring for one of them.
Yeah.
She was not fighting another woman.
Okay.
That woman took more ass whipping bumps than every other man for the rest of the fucking night combined. I'm going to tell you, that girl is tough as a $2 steak. And that ain't no bullshit.
Damn.
She's badass. That is going to be a kick-ass matchup right there.
I met James. He's a great guy. He's a very respectful person, and he listened. You know, I like him.
Yep. I think him and I sat back one night and had a 3.5-hour interview just bullshitting.
Damn. Okay. Bebop.
Reno Royce and Bebop.
2 seconds. I got to go back. I've drank way too much.
I can tell. Oh, man. And then the main event for that one, I got to load up the rest of the pictures on here because I've got so much stuff. There's so much going on. It's hard to put it all together and keep it all flowing.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't realize, so like some of the bigger posters are easy to read and then some of them are harder to read. So I didn't want to make it look bad. So that's the only reason I did that. And I don't have an overall poster for, why the hell don't I have an overall poster for CPW? I thought I did. I guess I don't. Huh. We did have a comment. Ghazi chimed in and said, I swear I can never catch one of these things on time. Dude, 8 o'clock every Thursday, 4 o'clock every Sunday. And if I go again, it's a Tuesday and it's 8 o'clock at night. Those are like my times. So there's that. The main event for that CPW takeover show, or at least another match on the card, Lodi versus Drew Hood. That's going to be a badass.
Drew, bring a pen and pad because you're going to learn. You're going to learn a lot.
Now we're going to talk October because I've got shit all the way out into. Well, I've already got bookings all the way through 2023, but
Yeah, he's
um,
on.
the 7th annual Holly Yatsko Memorial Cup.
Big
That,
country.
yep,
One of
big
my
countries
favorite
on there. You got Jake Jacobs,
Yeah, Tyler Storm. Is that him
Tyler
in the
Storm.
background?
Yeah, that's him in the back. You got Braden
100%.
Marshall, Drew Hood, Chris Phoenix.
I like Chris. He's
Yep.
a good kid.
Yeah, man, that's going to be a fun show. Then on October 8th, there are 2 different shows in 2 different states on October the 8th.
Okay.
In North Carolina, you have Heroes to
Holy
Legends.
shit.
Yep, and that's got you see JD Drake and you got Randy, you got
Randy
Chase.
Wayne is one of the
Yep.
most missed opportunities. I hate that he's never been more than he has. And John Haygood, I remember when he started.
Is that the guy on the bottom in the front?
Yes, that is one hell of a talent.
Okay. You got Brittany Jade on there. She's been on AEW even recently,
Yeah.
last week. Yep. She's a really nice person too. She took the time out to hang out with my kid for a few minutes, so that was awesome.
Yeah, you're never too good to hang out with your fans. Remember that,
Well,
everybody.
What's cool is like I was talking to Colby Carino Saturday night over
That's
at
a good kid, man. He went
Yeah, he
through
is.
a lot, man. He went through a lot. I know he had the addictions and stuff, but the kid, I love him.
I don't know anything about any of that, but like when I talked to him, I said, dude, I just gotta say thank you. And he was like, I recognize you, but where? I'm like, down in Union, you took the time to talk to my kid, and I took this picture of you two. He was signing her book and talking to her. And like she brings it up and says he was so funny.
Yeah,
And she talks about him and a couple of other guys, frequently because she'll flip through the tablet and look at all the pictures, all the wrestling pictures.
His dad was one of the most underutilized superstars of all time.
I agree. But he was real cool about it. We stood there outside a few minutes. I was smoking and we were talking. Outside he was getting ready.
Yeah.
I think he had something to do with the gathering. He was in a match at the gathering.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was. The kid's got talent. His butt, man. The kid's great.
Yep. And then the other show in October is at the Welford Pavilion, October the 8th. So like I said, you got one in. Yep, Chris Fix is on there. Antonio Morgan, Luca Daniels, and I'm not sure who the guy is on the end. I think that's Mitch Robertson.
Hey, I know that I've talked to Jimmy Ward needs to call me about that show because I know that's an anti-commission show.
No, I don't know.
If it is, I'm there.
I don't know. I have no information on that. I don't know anything Athletics Commission.
I'm gonna tell you right now, me and Chris Vicks used to have some great matches at HPW, man. We used to turn the house down.
We got a comment in here. Who's this? I wish Bill says, I wish I could get booked. Jesus.
Bill Hazelwood, get me booked wherever you are. Holy hell. Bill can get booked without trying. Don't even play, Bill.
Exactly. Well, here's this thing. I was booked to work a show the beginning of this year, and I had caught COVID, and at the same time, there was that winter storm, the snowstorm that was supposed to happen but didn't. Yeah, but it didn't happen. Well, they rescheduled the show to a day I was already booked. I told the promoter, I said, brother, you better call Bill Hazelwood because I don't know who else to call in this area. I don't know anybody else. Call Bill Hazelwood. Bill Hazelwood went and did the show.
Brett Wolverton and Bill Hazelwood. That's it. That's it. In my opinion, that's it. I don't know. Righteous is a great ring announcer, but he's not going to do much in South Carolina.
Yeah, I like Ivan. Good old Chuck Winchester. Hell of a guy.
But he's not going to do much inside South Carolina.
Why is that?
Inside South Carolina, in my opinion, you, Bill, and Brett. That's it. If you want to book a ring announcer, you book one of those three. Bottom line.
Shit. Man, I appreciate that. Now, further into October we go. We've got the Monsters Brawl for Professional Wrestling Union, October 29th.
I swear, motherfucker, cut y'all. I
Yes,
love
sir.
this shit.
I do too.
Me and him had a very, very short run as a tag team
Oh man,
when he was Ross Vegas.
you will never guess who commented on this video.
Who?
Take one guess. You get one.
Cut y'all.
Rage himself has chimed in. He said, "How many have Burns had?"
Oh my gosh. He's being funny.
Yeah, no, he can tell, and so can the rest of the audience.
No, man, I ain't having like 4, dude. I'm completely fine. I'm just having fun, man. I enjoyed it. I've been looking forward to this for so long. Rage is, God Almighty. I hate that he's going through what he is personally, and I'm not going to go into that because it's not my place. But he's having a few personal issues that he's got to go through.
Okay.
But as far as independent talent, you don't get much better. Like if I was booking a show, I wouldn't even put myself against Rage. I would put Rage against Joshua Cutshaw. I think that would sell out any building, period.
I have to agree. I mean, there's a couple of guys that I'd like to see doing things. To be fair, I'd actually like to see Rage and Matt Burns versus Cutshaw and Mad Dog Mayhem, Mr. Josh Powers.
I'm not Josh. Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to see that.
Well, before we go, just curious, who would you like to see Dalton work?
Brino. Brino's one of them. I like seeing him work Brino Royce.
What about me in a hardcore match besides Rage?
Josh Powers.
Okay.
Josh Powers.
He's a good kid. He's a good kid.
Yeah. Have you seen any of the Mad Dog Mayhem shit?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Just because I'm not as much visual. I always keep up with this independent scene. I always do.
Because the Mad Dog Mayhem stuff is fantastic. It's about as good as you're going to get in South Carolina.
Well, besides me.
Well, no, I'm saying those match types. That match type is about
yeah.
as hardcore as you can get here.
I completely understand, bro.
Dude, so you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
In the tag match a couple of weeks back at one of these promotions I was working, somebody got busted open right here, corner of the eye, cut. So you know the rules of South Carolina.
It's 90 seconds.
Yep. So it went home real quick, but here's what was dicked up. They kept putting gauze on the guy's head to get the bleeding to stop.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I get in the ring and I'm looking at the crowd and I'm like, we're going to bring it down a notch from this. We're going to, we can't keep going like that. We got to bring it back into reality here for professional wrestling. And the referee wasn't paying attention that I had the live microphone in between me and him. He said, no, the heck we don't. We need to keep that going. I said, but the doc's out of gauze pads. We can't keep doing this. He ain't got no more gauze. And the crowd just busted out laughing because they thought they were getting in on something they weren't supposed to be in on. And I'm like,
that's a big issue. Like, we expect that with me because
so
I took my hat off. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is, I did it as a gag to be funny. The ref didn't know, and the crowd thought I was being serious. So it was like,
well, the problem, like a lot of guys like me, like you can't see it real good, but like Dalton can tell you, this whole side of my head is nothing but scar tissue because I've always colored on the same side.
right
here. So one night, Sweet Dreams, matter of fact, I know you know that guy.
Of course I do. Soul Patrol.
Sweet Dreams is probably one of the most underrated talents. If anybody's in the locker room with him, ask him questions. I'm please begging you, ask him questions because he wants to talk to you. But he punched me, and he got stiff, and it was an accident. But it split. I've got so much scar tissue on the side, it just split it open. and it kind of caused a scene. Like over in South Carolina, he's bleeding. It was crazy, man. But it happens because, and luckily, you guys like you who know, like, nah, we got to go home, but the referees don't know. But it happens a lot more than you think.
Yeah. I've seen it. Now there is such occasions where if they can get the bleeding to stop, they ain't gonna say nothing.
If the commission is right there,
Yeah.
But the commission is nothing but a damn joke in this business anyway. And I'm sorry to say that, but it really are. They're just a way to get money out of your pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead.
No, I was just saying the commission is a joke around here. And, Dalton, who has been a professional fighter and has been through the actual loopholes that you got to go through to be licensed to be a fighter. We jumped through a lot of those same loopholes. It doesn't make sense to me. He's got one of his prime students who's fighting in a fight this Saturday night or Friday night, tomorrow night. And he's got to jump through the same hoops we do, but he's got to do blood work and stuff because, he don't want to have AIDS or something even worse inside of his blood. But we got to jump through those same hoops. How does that make sense to me? That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, so because I guess AIDS and other diseases can be transmitted by multiple orifices. You've got spit and saliva. You've got your tear ducts are essentially they can absorb shit. If I guess if somebody had spit on their hands and they punched you in the mouth, it could go in your mouth. I mean, I get it, but I get what you're saying, but I understand. You know what I mean?
My biggest thing with the commission is they say they use the license to get out the riffraff that you work with. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 companies that work in South Carolina,
Right?
and 2 that are North Carolina. How many people have you seen that have a license that shouldn't be in the ring?
Quite a few.
Thank you.
As you're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't understand what ring announcing has to do with licensing either. But
as far as seeing talent, believe it or not, you're one of the most vocal that we need to hear from because you see stuff that people don't see.
That's because I've sat under the learning trees of guys like you and Rage and all these other guys, Cole and everybody else, Thomas, Gary. I sit under the learning tree and I pick up from everybody. I might not like everybody, but I listen to them enough. I stood behind, I was sitting beside somebody who runs another company and listening to them talk about different things. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, that's how that works.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. So you just sit there and you pick up on things.
One of the biggest things when I'm helping book a show is I go to my ring announcer because you see things that I don't see. Like, let's just use Dalton, for example. If I've got him pushed as a baby face and you come to me and you're like, dude, these people hate him. As a booker, I'm going to change his route. And I think that some independents missed that. That you need to talk to your ring announcers and understand that they say, hey, look, this guy's great, but he sucks as a babyface. And that's why I really feel like a lot of people miss out on using a ring announcer.
So with that being said, I think one of the reasons I'm still at the, still making good loops around areas and still working with decent companies is I don't inject anything unless I'm asked. I try, or, if I have a good relationship or rapport with somebody, yeah, I'll shoot them a message and say, hey, just a thought I had here. And I'll just throw that out there.
Fair enough.
That's it.
The best way to handle yourself. Because you see something that needs to change, tell somebody. Don't just sit there and be quiet.
Well, I also wait. I try to wait until I'm asked because a lot of people look at me and I haven't been in long enough, so they're just like, "Oh, what do you know?" Oh,
Yeah, I
okay,
understand. Yeah, I understand.
fair enough. But let's see here. Gavin Tyler chimed in. He said, "Yo, fellas,
Gavin,
What's up?
James Roberts, what's up, Riggs? And I guess you too, Burns.
player, you jobber.
Who's Rage Davidson?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh,
You gonna beat the hell out of that boy.
I think you got a keyboard that exactly. who Ray is.
Warrior.
Oh my, let's see. Dalton needs to get back in the ring ASAP. We need more Dalton.
We need more
Hey,
Dalton, like we
baby.
need more cowbell,
Yeah,
baby.
you need more talent. Holy hell, it's 10 o'clock, 10:30, 10:15.
It's 10:15. Is that the cue that I got to send it home? Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got
All
to
right.
drive all the way back. I got to drive all the way across town, man. I got to be working in the morning.
Jesus. Yeah, me too. But I got to drive across town in the morning instead of the night.
I got to drive across town and go to bed.
Yeah.
But, bro, I'm going to be honest, Brian. Please get me back on. I enjoyed this so much.
Hey man, look, anytime y'all want to jump in and shoot the shit, let me know because I'm booked for the rest of this month on this show. And I've got some other contributors who I bring on periodically. But man, it's always something going on. If you don't know to check Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, or find me on all your major podcast networks, you're living under a rock.
CPW, Pro Wrestling Union, American Wrestling League, High Velocity Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Savage, His Pro Wrestling. Contact us. We're ready to get back in the game. Fair enough. Boom.
Right on. All right, guys, this has been Thursday Night Indie Spotlight. We covered The Gathering. We covered Pro Wrestling Savage, and we just had a hell of a time for the last 2 hours sitting back with Matt Burns and Dalton Riggs. Guys, it's been too long. I haven't seen either one of you in person in forever. Well, hey, look, here. Here's the Crown Royal glass.
Hey,
You guys, y'all take it easy. Have a good night.
You too.
Have a good one.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Appreciate it. You guys have a good night out there. We'll catch you next time. We'll see you Sunday for